Have you ever stopped for a second and realized that you have zero fucking clue if what you're doing in your life actually matters? Because I certainly have. Just a little bit of backstory about me: as a former college athlete in America, and when I moved back to Ireland at the age of 24, I spent 2 years of my life trading it for quite literally no return. I was getting pissed every single weekend to numb the fact that I was completely lost in life, no ambition anymore because my football career was officially over, and an overall then sense of guilt that I'd wasted a really good opportunity and then everything was completely over for me now. And let me just tell you quickly, giving up should never be a fucking option. If you give up, you will never make the dreams that you had when you were a kid a reality. And as life as short as ours, that cannot be an option. Look, in the next 7 minutes or whatever the duration of this video is, I'm going to share exactly what I've learned to start building a life that genuinely feels worth living. And I just want to say I am by no means there yet, but in the last 4 to 5 months, I'd say especially, I really feel like I'm on the right path, and anything that I set my mind to is attainable. So if you are feeling completely lost right now, firstly, that's okay, but I'm going to tell you exactly how to start making those changes today that will gradually start to change your mindset about your future. Whether you are in your early, your mid, or even your late 20s, there's still plenty of time to develop the core values and habits that will be your foundations for your transformation moving forward. Look, before we go any further, I want to say that the good thing is you are watching this video is the fact you are worried about the direction of your future. And as somebody who has been there and is still in their 20s, I can tell you it is normal to feel lost at times. And that little voice of concern in your head is very powerful and is a very helpful tool because it shows that you genuinely care about your future. Alright, Jen, so let me just get a little bit serious for a second. We are literally facing an epidemic of guys who look fucking fine on the outside, but on the inside we're completely disconnected from ourselves. The number of men that report having little to no close friends has literally tripled since 1990. 15% of fellas nowadays report having no close friends, and literally it is catastrophic, not just to our mental and emotional well-being, but to our physical well-being as well. And the little fucking wild thing about this is society and the government tells us that the path to a fulfilling life is to, well, work more, make more money, get that right job title, doctor, whatever you want to be, buy more stuff to look on the outside, look good on Instagram, and then go to the bar on the weekend to just suppress all your fucking emotions and forget the whole week never bloody happened. I'd love to be fucking wealthy, and don't get me wrong, I am all for financial success, but you can be really fucking wealthy and still feel completely empty inside. You've seen the stories about people winning the lotto, because external success without internal alignment is honestly fucking worthless. And the only way to go about fixing something like this is to find an aspect of life that genuinely excites you, that will deliver you a sense of fulfillment, and living authentically is the only way to feel fully connected to your inner self. Look, I've been fortunate enough to start to understand the true path to fulfillment, and what I deem comes down to 4 necessary elements, and a lot of dudes seem to be missing 1 or 2 of them. And first is knowing your actual values, not the values of your parents, not the values of your teachers or Instagram, but shit that genuinely matters to you. Second is creating meaningful connections, not just collecting followers on Instagram or expanding your circle of drinking buddies, but people who actually give a shit about you, see the real you, and overall want to see you succeed. And look, if you are watching this video, I will be real with you. It is difficult to start to find people like this, but I'll explain later in the video how you can, because nobody understands. But over time, when you do align yourself fully with your own values, those people will naturally come towards you and be introduced into your life. Third is growing through challenges and not allowing yourself to get too comfortable, but actually testing yourself in ways that will start to build real confidence in value. For me personally, for some of my clients and a lot of dudes out there, the gym is probably one of the best ways, not just physically, but mentally, to start to pull yourself out of your comfort zone. Third is growing through challenges and not letting them overcome you, and always learning a lesson from them. Not allowing yourself to be comfortable is very important, but actually testing yourself in ways that's going to start to build real confidence and value. For me, my clients and a lot of dudes out there, the gym is probably one of the best ways to start building confidence and challenging yourself, not just mentally but physically as well. It pushes you outside of your comfort zone and teaches you what I deem to be probably one of the best values or mindsets these days of delayed gratification, results over efforts over time. And fourth, I would definitely say, is contributing something meaningful, using your unique strengths to make some kind of positive difference in other people's lives around you. Even if it is small, impacting a small portion of people and doing something positive to help better life of somebody else will naturally create a sense of fulfillment inside you. Look, I'm not going to preach this as a one size fits all because it isn't, but these four things have genuinely helped me. Firstly, by understanding what genuinely matters to me. Then, by connecting with like minded people who share similar goals, similar thoughts. Then, starting to perceive challenges as a test from God to help me learn and overcome and prepare for the future. And then, finally, through my coaching business, helping men transform their lives, not both physically and mentally, to start dealing with and getting on their own personal journey. Look, honestly, the hardest part about creating a fulfilling life isn't knowing what to do, but actually having the courage to put the practices into place. See, choosing your own path means accepting that you might disappoint the people around you. Your parents might not understand why you're leaving the safe career. Your friends might not get why you've suddenly started then setting boundaries away from them. You're not drinking as much anymore. But here's what I've learned the hard way. Living according to somebody else's rules and expectations is a fucking recipe for waking up at 40, 50, whatever, and realizing where the fuck is life gone? What the fuck have I done? Look, you just need to start asking yourself some questions to start figuring it the fuck out, because that's what your 20s is about. First of all, think about like what activities make you lose fucking track of time and numb your brain. Then start thinking like, if money wasn't an issue, what would you be doing right now? Then whose life do I actually admire and why? And then finally, what did you love doing before you started to give a shit about other people's opinions? Look, these fucking questions are not difficult. They're the foundation to start building a life that actually feels like your own. So I literally would encourage you to take 5 minutes, pause this video, and genuinely reflect on them. Right, let's start talking about positive risks and negative risks, because when we're in our 20s, it's the exact time to start taking positive risks. We have fewer responsibilities, we have less to lose, and we can afford to fail a few times. The problem is most of us take the wrong kind of risks. We risk our health drinking and wasting so much fucking money on shit that don't fucking matter to us. That is actually, it's not going to change your life for the better. And I know this because I've been through the exact same shit. I was scared to invest in myself. I was scared to try something new out of mostly fear of failure, but I had no problem blowing my money on fucking drinks on the weekend that made me and giving me the biggest like anxiety that I've ever had in my life. So start taking positive risks in your 20s. Drop the drinking, drop going out all the fucking time. Start taking risks that will add value to your life in the future. Right, so I just want to say I am 27 right now, so I've been through like the majority of my 20s. And one of the things I've learned is developing grit and determination, and that changed a lot of things for me because persistence will be talent every single time. The ability to keep going when you feel stuck, to show up every day when we don't see results, and that is what separates those who find their path and those that will stay lost. Look, motivation is temporary, but determination and grit last for fucking ever. And this is honestly the number one skill that I wish I had developed earlier in my 20s that I did not start like developing until the end. But if I was to leave one tip from this video, is grit and determination. Showing up every day when no one gives a fuck what happens to you is honestly an invaluable skill. Right, so now I just want to talk a bit on like the process of change, because I don't want to say all this information and like not give you an idea then how you can start to look to implement it, because you're probably thinking, how the hell do I fucking start when I feel stuck in my current situation right now? And honestly, cliche, but like the key is genuinely to start small. You don't need to like quit your job tomorrow and move off to Thailand and start a new life. You need to start introducing very small elements of authenticity into your life, difficult word to say, to really start then feeling yourself. And here is a little 3-step process that I've seen work for a lot of people. And first is like create a space. You cannot hear your own voice when you're constantly bombarded by Instagram, social media, work, notifications, and other people's opinions, because your opinion matters most. Start with just 15 minutes a day of genuine solitude. No TV, no phone, no nothing, and just sit with your thoughts. Second, which I stand by a lot, is experimenting new things regularly. Commit to trying one new thing a week, whatever, if it's out of your box, but something that genuinely interests you, not what you think should interest you, what actually does. Like maybe starting a cooking class, reading a new book, getting into the gym, whatever it is, because I know there's a barrier of fear when something like getting into the gym comes in. But the point of it is to start collecting data on what actually lights you up. And honestly, it doesn't actually take that long. Like it'd take like a month of trying new stuff. If you're trying some things new like each week, you will slowly start to figure out things that you genuinely enjoy. And finally, third is finding your people. And this honestly is absolutely critical. You need to start connecting with others who are on a similar path to you. That's people that aren't going to drag you back into your own patterns, but people that want to see you change and see you grow. And this actually does coincide with the last point, because as you're getting out there and trying new things, you are naturally going to start finding people that share the same interests. For example, with me, I started trying golf, and then I started getting then in contact again with old friends. So like getting in a circle of things that actually excite you, you will meet people in there, and that will then start to grow your circle with people that you actually like align with. If you are interested in getting into the gym and connecting with like-minded individuals, other dudes that are on the same journey, I do have a yearly and lifetime personal training platform down in the description. Not going to say much more, but feel free to check it out. Look, in all seriousness, and we're going to get serious here for a second, we only get one fucking life, and time is the only resource that we will never, ever, ever get back. And the question isn't whether like we'll die one day, because that is a fact. The question is whether you'll look back on your life, whether you're 50 or 60, and feel like you actually lived it authentically, or just played by the rules and played it safe by what somebody else told you would make you happy. I genuinely believe that every man, woman has greatness inside of them, not for fame or fortune necessarily, but the capacity to create a life of meaning, connection, and impact. Look, we're just at the end of the video, and I will leave you with this. That capacity will always remain as potential unless you make the decision to start living intentionally, authentically, and according to what makes you happy. Setting out to pursue a life that is fulfilling, not just personally, but you're out there helping others as well. Don't look back in decades of time and living with regret. Your future self is counting on the decisions that you are making today. I encourage you to go out there and make him proud. And look, if you did enjoy this video, I'd appreciate you dropping a comment on what your thoughts are and subscribing for more content on my channel.